In 2006, the Geelong Region Local Learning and Employment Network, the LEN, conducted a local inquiry into the effectiveness of vocational education in the region. This research found that around 30% of students who completed Year 12 and 40% of early school leavers were ending up in the labour market, with no ongoing involvement in education and training.
The longitudinal data shows that young people who leave school, whether they leave school early or at completion of Year 12, and directly enter the labour market are vulnerable. Now, there was a belief with the schools that we started working with when we first embarked on the EPIT project that young people who got a job after leaving school were okay. And we kind of all thought that. But when we looked at the data, it demonstrated really clearly that young people who go into a job tend to go into part-time casualised employment, and that they're often out of the workforce by the time they're about 24 years of age. So their prospects of building a career, of being able to support a family, buy a house, all those kinds of things, are really seriously undermined by leaving school and going directly into employment.
Motivated by the research, the LEN embarked on a project to help improve and broaden the pathways available to school leavers. This in-school change project, known as Expanded Pathways, Improved Transitions, or EPIT, was launched by the State Minister for Education in April 2007. The aims of the project are to improve outcomes and opportunities for school leavers by assisting schools, local businesses and community agencies to change so that they provide expanded pathways through partnerships. Schools are invited to volunteer the project, and now nearly all of the government and Catholic secondary schools in Geelong are EPIT schools.
If young people are leaving school to go into education and training and they're working as well, that's not risky. As long as they're in some form of education and training, that could be an apprenticeship, it could be a part-time TAFE course, it could be a part-time university course, and they could be working to support themselves while they're doing that, then those young people are going to be much better positioned for a lifetime of earning real money, of their capacity to re-enter lifelong learning, their ability to take up further study later on is much enhanced if they're going on to study once they leave school.
At the core of the project is the analysis of student outcomes and destinations data, which has been gathered for the Victorian Government's On Track initiative. This data is collated by the LEN. The data is presented to the participating schools that, with the assistance of the LEN, use it to examine the pathways their students are taking and how they lead to their post-school destinations. Using their data to identify areas for improvement, the EPIT project schools have embarked on change projects to address those areas.
Using their data to identify areas for improvement, the EPIT schools embarked on a series of in-school change projects. Now, each school undertook to do this in different ways, but they came up with a range of projects that included things like new transition support programs, establishing parent information sessions about alternative pathways much earlier in the school experience, teacher professional development programs, worked on working with teachers and parents in schools to understand that students could blend senior studies programs so that we're not having just VCE and VCAL, but a blended program where students could pick and choose whatever it was that they wanted to do. And those programs have sparked ideas from each other, but also new ideas have developed as a result of that. And each school is attacking that in different ways, but certainly seeing the benefits and the improved outcomes for their students as a result.
The ongoing scrutiny of the data then becomes a measure of the level of the impact of these strategies, and adjustments can be made so that they remain responsive to changing circumstances. The EPIT project continues to engage new schools within the region. One such school is Western Heights Secondary College, a local government school of approximately 1,000 students across 2 campuses. Being new to the EPIT project means that the school is seeing its data presented for the first time. This can be both enlightening and confronting.
Some of what came out they had looked at before, but they hadn't looked at it through the lens of what's going on for students for their future. So really putting that focus on the future, which happened in that workshop, was helpful.
A lot of things go through your head. What can I do to help our students get to, I suppose, a successful pathway after high school? It was one, looking at the data, and about a quarter of our students are either in employment or looking for work after high school, after year 12, which is a big number of students who are undecided as to what they want to do. And so that was a figure that I'd sort of be looking at reducing.
North Geelong Secondary College, also new to the EPIT project, has a similar experience.
I was actually very, very surprised to see, once again, I knew the data, but when you see it on a bar graph, with all those girls going into those particular work sort of fields, and then you're thinking, well, are we doing enough for these girls in our community? Do we need to do more to make sure that we build their self-confidence, to make sure there are programs for them to go into to build that leadership, so they do not end up in those professions where basically there's not a lot of future.
The EPIT project has demonstrably improved the outcomes for school leavers in the Geelong region. The EPIT schools have expanded their VET and VCAL provision, increased their Year 12 completion, increased the numbers of students undertaking school-based apprenticeships, and increased the numbers of students moving into education and training destinations.
In Year 9 they do the tertiary program, which we call Tertiary Taster, at the Gordon TAFE, and in Year 10 we do a 2-day program where all our Year 10s go out to Deakin University and experience university life and a whole range of workshops out there. We pay the Gordon for the service, we negotiate that price with the Gordon, and we have to fund that ourselves from the school, and the students pay a small fee to do the 10 weeks, and that's $30 per student. So what we're basically doing is saying to kids, look, these are some of the things that are out there. These are some of the pathways that you can take. Education is a lifelong experience now, it never stops, You need to look at what you want to do and how that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. Each school is different in its own unique ways, and each school's develop programs around their own unique clientele and what they feel is the pathways best suited for their students. As I say, we try to provide every student with a pathway.
In the future, the EPIT project will continue to work with new and existing schools to improve pathways from school to further education, training and sustainable employment.
There will be just over 50% of our students see university or further study in a TAFE environment diploma, Cert 4, as their option, and we're successful in achieving around approximately 80% of students who apply for those courses achieve them. So we still have, I think, very good data there. But what we do now have is we now have a very strong VCAL program for students who want to go out and to learn in a vocational field. We have school-based apprenticeships, we have a very strong VET program, and we encourage students, and we try to all our students to start making decisions in Year 9 and to experience things in Year 9 and then make firm decisions in Year 10 and to take them through to 11 and 12.